This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2019 Hemisphere model 282 RK. So I'm on the door side of the trailer. I'll walk back here to the corner, and as you can see, you've got a swing out grill. Now the grill has to be connected with the supplied LP line, and I just want to show you right here where it connects. This is the quick connect right here. So as you can see, you'll put the male part into here and then let it loose and lock it into place. Then you'll turn the gas on just like that. And on the other side of the hose will be this very same fitting, the female, and it'll plug into the male fitting on the grill the same way. Okay. Also, you've got power stabilizers on this trailer. Here's the switch. Extend them. Generally, one will go down before the other. Okay. So you don't lift the trailer with them. You're just going to stabilize it, take the wiggle out of it. Like so. Okay. And of course, then you retract them. The same way, you just lift them back up, bring them all the way up so they don't get hit by road debris or anything like that when you're pulling the trailer. Okay, let me get on my feet here. Okay, we have a outside kitchen that has running water and a refrigerator. The refrigerator works on 110 AC, so as soon as you plug the trailer in, the refrigerator will turn on. Okay. This hole here, let me look underneath here. This hole is so you can crank the slide out manually in case it fails. It's very hard to see, but through this hole there's a shaft on the other side, and you receive a crank with the trailer, and you can stick it through there and crank it out or in. It takes a lot of cranking, but it will get you out of trouble. So it beats driving home with your slide out, that's for sure, or camping with it in. So although the slide outs are very reliable, just in case you have that feature. Okay, this one is marked park cable. Sometimes it's just for the antenna signal, but this one is cable. And of course there's power, so you can hook a TV up out here. There's a bracket. You got outside speakers. You've got a power awning, a long one with an LED strip. Okay. The stairs fold into the trailer. They can be adjusted. If you're on uneven ground, you just pull this pin, and you see there's holes in the legs, and you can just adjust it as needed. All right. This is your front stabilizer switch, and the item next to it is a port to plug in a solar panel that's used for a solar battery charger. If you decide to purchase one, it just charges the battery. It doesn't power the trailer or anything like that. That's all it does. There's a sticker that kind of an advertisement actually that explains it. It's made by Furion. This is going to be your hitch. We'll show you how that works when you pick up the trailer. You can also go online to Husky Centerline. This is a weight distribution hitch. It has a built-in sway control, but you can always go to their site and look at their hookup videos too if you need help when you're on the road when you first start using it. You got a deep cycle marine battery. You've got two tanks here. Let me see if I can get this off. Hold on. I'm gonna have to set the phone down here. I need two hands to do it, so there we go. Okay, so you've got two 30-pound tanks. Okay, now this is the LP regulator, but this is not a tank selector here. This is just a gauge. You point it at the tank you want to check. Right now the valve's closed on this tank, and I'm pointing it at this tank, so it's showing it red as empty. But if I open it up, see how it turned green there? So that's all you're doing, is you point it at the tank you want to select. There's the pointer right there. and it'll tell you. But this will change automatically. So it's going to draw this tank down first, the door side tank. Then when it's empty, it'll switch to this one, and back and forth. So it does that automatically. This is your power tongue jack here. There's a crank inside the trailer that you can actually put onto that hex in there. In case this fails, you can always operate it manually, which is always a good thing. Okay. In your front compartment is the inverter, because this does have an inverter. An inverter, if you don't know, it converts DC power, 12 volts DC, up to 110 AC. It also has a converter, which is inside the trailer, which converts 110 AC back down to 12 volt DC. The reason you want an inverter is because your refrigerator, it runs on 110 AC, so you'll be able to invert power to keep your refrigerator running while you're towing it down the road. So it's a good thing to have. This is your water heater. Like all other trailers, you have to winterize when you're winterizing the trailer, you have to bypass the water heater. There are valves in the back of the water heater. If you don't know, you're going to have to educate yourself a bit or take it somewhere and have it done. But you never pump antifreeze into the trailer without bypassing the water heater first. The reason being, you can't get if you get antifreeze into the water heater, it's going to leave a really foul taste and a bad smell. So they give you a way to bypass it so you can still pump antifreeze through the system in the late fall so it doesn't freeze during the winter, but you can bypass the water heater. Now this particular model, it works on both gas and electric. You can see there's a switch right there. Here you can see it. It's off right now. The switch operates a heating element which is behind this cover here. So just remember, you never want to turn it on without water in the tank. So you always got to make sure you have the tank full on the water heater, or else you'll burn out the element very quickly. Also, there's a switch inside to operate this on gas, which I'll show you when we get in there. But that's the gist of it. The plug is right there. Takes an 1.16" socket to drain it, to pull out and drain it. Just make sure you let the pressure out with this pressure switch here. This valve, I mean. Let the pressure out before you pull the plug out, because otherwise it'll shoot out of there like a cannonball, and you'll also get drenched. So you always want to do that. I'm going to leave this off because we're cleaning it right now, and I want them to make sure they clean that in there for you. Okay, now the most common way to use water on this trailer is with city water. So you're going to just take your hose at the campground. You're going to hook it up here to the city water connection. Turn it on, it pressurizes the whole trailer, you're ready to go. Now if you're rustic camping, or you're at a state forest or even some of the older state parks without plumbing on the campsite, you're going to fill your onboard tank through here, and you can basically pump the water. There's a 12 volt pump in the trailer, so you'll pump the water yourself from your fresh water tank. 9 times out of 10 you're going to be using just regular city water, but in case you go to a place where there's not plumbing, you can use this system. Alright, so that means you can pretty much have water in any situation. Alright, so here the black valve is, I'm not getting a good picture here, is for your black tank, which is toilet water and waste, and then the gray valve is sink and shower water. Now on the back you have another gray valve for the kitchen. It's a gray tank, but they probably refer to it as a galley tank on this trailer, but a galley tank is a gray water tank. So you hook your hose up to here, you put the other end of the dump station, then you're going to pull your black valve. You just pull the valve all the way open, then you'll dump the gray, like so. It's a gate valve. You dump the black first, and then you use the gray, because the black is obviously toilet water and waste, and the gray is shower water and sink water, so it's cleaner, dirty water than the black tank water, so it helps to wash out the hose. Then you can hook your hose at the dump station, your water hose, up to this black tank flush here. So it'll flush out the black tank It's got a sprayer inside the tank, and it'll spray it out and clean it out much better. So you'll do that last. Just always remember, like it says on this sticker here, always have the black dump valve open before you turn the water on for the flush, the black tank flush, okay? So too much pressure doesn't build up. All right, moving along. You have another gray dump valve here. This is for the galley tank, which is a second gray tank. This is for the kitchen sink, basically, and the outside kitchen water. Okay, all right. Okay, so this trailer is pre-wired for a backup camera. You can see the housing up there. If you want to put a backup camera on there, you have to get a Furrion that fits in that housing. It's pre-wired. Basically, when you turn on your running lights, it'll light up the camera and you can see behind you when you're backing up or going down the road. We do sell those here. You can talk to our parts people, but either way, it has to be the Furrion that fits inside that particular housing. This is the vent for the range hood. If you're going to use the range hood, you have to free up this baffle in here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll see if I can reach it. You push it shut when you're not using it, but if you're going to use the fan on the range hood, then you would open it up so it flaps freely. All right. This is part cable through and satellite through the entertainment area. That's the vent for the furnace. You have a ladder on this. You want to inspect your trailer about 3 times a year. You figure in the spring and then in the fall, and then once in the middle of the summer. You'll go up on your roof, you'll look around, you'll check all the seals. Everything is sealed with a lap sealant, so you look at it to make sure there's no separation or cracking starting. When you do see it someday, you're going to have it taken care of, or do it yourself if you know how. But the bottom line is you have to inspect this 3 times a year. Odds are you won't have to do anything, but that's why you're inspecting it, just to make sure. So you can you don't get water in your trailer, in the building materials, and you're just protecting your investment and keeping your trailer in good shape. So you got to inspect it. Okay, this is your control panel. I mentioned the water heater lights on gas from in here. That's right here. Always make sure there's water in the water heater tank before you turn it on. This is the water pump I told you about for your demand tank. You got lights here. One of those lights was the awning strip, which is right there. And this is for the awning here, so awning out. Like so. You're just going to run it out till you can see the roller tube, which is metal. Once you see the roller tube, you know you're out all the way. Okay, I'm just going to bring it in because we have limited room out there. I don't want to hit anything with it. Okay. I'll bring your slide out in and then back out so you can see it in and out. All right, so this is for the slide room here. That was out. We're going to go in. Always make sure that there's no cabinets or anything open that it's going to hit. When it gets all the way in, it'll ratchet like you just heard, and when it goes all the way out, it'll do the same thing. That just keeps it from overextending or over retracting. Okay. All right. So right about there. When it ratchets, you take your finger off the button. So we'll go back out now. You can see this particular type of slide out comes out or in and out over the floor, but then it drops into place when it gets all the way extended. So it's even, basically, you don't have to step up onto it, it's even with the floor. Okay, so this is how you check your levels right here. So the battery, you can see everything lights up, is totally charged. Even though we're plugged in, you always want to check it when you're not plugged in. Fresh water shows that there's water in the tank, which there is because we're water testing it. But you can see that it's full up to 2/3. As it fills, it'll graduate up in 1/3 increments. Before you pick it up, we're going to have dumped it, so it's not going to it'll show empty. The black tank is empty. The first gray tank is empty, and then the gray galley tank is empty. As they fill up, you get past 2/3, you're going to start thinking about dumping. Okay. This switch, you can't run the air conditioner and the fireplace at the same time. Draws too many amps. So, or I mean, excuse me, it's well, it's a 30. This is a 30 amp system, I believe, or is it a 50? I'll have to go back out and check. I should know that. But the bottom line is you can't run them both at once because it draws too many amps. So you select. If you're in the summer, you're using the air, you'll put it in that position. The fireplace in that position. I should have looked to see what type of a cord we had on here. Let me see if I can see it out the window. Yeah, it's a 30 amp cord, so it's a 30 amp system. All right. So the thermostat, you punch it once to light up the mode button. Then you start scrolling through the auto. You always want to do things on auto if you can. So that's the fan, that's the air conditioner running without the compressor. That's the air conditioner, and that's the furnace. You always want to run things on auto, and keep in mind there's a lag time for turning everything on and off with this thermostat, so it's going to take up to 5 seconds before anything happens, so just be patient. When I first started using it, I was thinking there was something wrong with it when they first started shipping because it took so long for things to come on, but that's just the way it's designed. Alright, your fireplace, you've got a remote for that. This works on 110 AC. Okay, so we turn it on like so. Then we can go through the temperature. You can set the temperature like so. The heat, low, if you could see it, I mean. Let me get closer. Low, high, this is the fan speed, or off, right? Then you can adjust the flame by using this one. Let me get it here. You can see it, the intensity going down to where you can barely see it, back up to a full blast. It also has a timer on it, so you can set the timer for it to go on and off. Okay, I'll shut it off here. All right. Your radio / DVD CD player. It has 2 zones, zone 1 and zone 2, and it has a remote here also. That has actually has more buttons to select from. So 2 is outside, 1 is inside. You can stream off this USB stick, so you can put 20 albums on one little stick and take it with you. It has Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or tablet, play your MP3s that way. So it has a lot of features. It'll play DVDs and CDs. So you have that along with the TV set. It works like any other TV set. All right, so let's see here. You have a fold-out hide-a-bed here. It's actually a pretty decent one. It's 3-panel. Excuse my camera work. It's the best I can do with one hand and at a close range here. I'm just using my phone here, so. All right, so, whoops, pulled it out a little too hard. But you set the legs out like so. And like so. You're going to set it back down. Okay. Then you flip the back panel down. Like so. So I'll back up so you can see it. It's actually not so bad. It's not like the old hide-a-beds where you had springs in your back and a bar going across the middle, so it's not so bad. Of course, you've got a table with freestanding chairs instead of a booth. Your refrigerator works on AC power. That's why you have the inverter that I spoke to you about. It converts 12-volt battery power up to AC power to run your refrigerator when you're pulling it down the road. Okay. There should be a knob that screws in there to keep it from opening during transit. I'm not seeing it at this moment, but it's here somewhere. I'll make sure you get it. I gotta look around for it a bit. Okay. Your microwave works like any other microwave. This is the range hood I told you about with the fan. Remember I told you have to open the baffle on the outside for the fan. There's the light. I don't know if I did turn one tank on, so let's see what we got here. Might take a while because the tanks were off. That's one thing to keep in mind. It takes a little while for the gas to get up here when the tanks have been disconnected or shut off. I'll give it a minute here. If not, I'll go out there and double check to make sure I did in fact turn it on. But I think I did because I was showing you how it turned green. Let me open another one up so the gas comes out faster. Boy, this isn't really good. I guess I'll go out there and see what's happening with it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So, there it goes. Okay, so basically you're going to turn the sparker clockwise, like you just saw, and it works that simple. Now the oven is a little different. It works like an old water heater in the sense that back on the bottom shelf back there, you can barely see it, but all the way to the back is a pilot light. So you're going to put this on pilot and depress it. Then you're going to use a grill lighter and you're going to light the pilot light at the back of the furnace, or the oven there. And once it lights, you'll hold this still depressed for about 10 more seconds. Then you'll go to whatever temperature you want. It'll cycle through just like a normal oven. But when you go back to off, the oven will go off obviously, but so will the pilot light, so you have to relight it each time you use it. Alright. This is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It should always be green like that. If it's not, get serviced. But basically it'll sense carbon monoxide build up and go off, or it'll tell you if there's a propane leak. If it goes off, you go outside, shut off your tanks, and figure out what's going on. Alright. That's simple enough. Okay, so sink works like any other sink. You have shades, obviously, black shades that pull down. This is interesting. This has a remote for a lot of the features, your stabilizers, your awning. You can mess with it once you get it, but you can operate them with this remote here, okay? The bathroom, the shower works like any other shower. The sink works like any other sink. This GFCI here, all the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI, so if you're using the plug on the outside with a coffee pot and it pops, you'll reset it here. Your toilet, that's just residual water pressure. There's no water hooked up to it, but you can see how the water squirts out of the back here. So basically you can't use this dry, so you'll get to the campsite, you'll hook up your power and your water, then you'll come in here and you'll take your toilet chemical, whichever one you're using, powder, liquid, whatever you use, you'll put a dose right in there, and then you'll step on the pedal right here and let about a gallon of water, 2 gallons tops, just fill into the black tank, which is directly below. The reason you do that because you can't use it dry and without chemicals, but once you've done that, you can use it till it's ready to be dumped. Let's say you're going to stay at the same campsite and you dump it. Then you would come back here and repeat that procedure. You'd put the chemical in there, step on the pedal. Okay, so when you flush it, it'll only fill about up to there. So if you see, you can move it this far without the trap opening. This activates the water valve, so you can fill it as full as you want to use it, like right up to there, let's say, each time you use it. But you have to do that before you use it each time, because it defaults to just down here, so it can't slosh out while you're traveling. Alright, okay. Also, there's a fan and a vent. You use that with the shower also, because you want to pull the humidity out. Alright. So your bed, you got storage under there, plus it comes up. Just like a foot locker. There's more bins inside that one, so you've got enough to fill that whole thing there. This is I told you there was an inverter in the front compartment. Well, this is a converter. This is the one that converts AC power down to DC, or over to DC. So you start with 110 AC. These are regular household type circuit breakers here, and you can see they're all marked, labeled. Some things have to run on AC power, like the air conditioner or the microwave, what have you. But anything that can run on DC power in a trailer does. So you can see you got automotive fuses here. They're 12 volt DC, and those are marked also. If any of these fuses were to blow, you'll actually light up, and you can see them through this tinted plastic here. So this is the power converter. It converts 110 AC down to 12 volt DC. Alright. Also, it's a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery up front has or needs, and if it's totally charged, it'll just trickle a couple amps up there. If it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs to keep it charged, as long as you're plugged into AC power. You have a backing plate here to hang a TV in the bedroom, plus video and power. Make sure you spend the extra money if you're going to get a swivel bracket. Always get a bracket that locks into place so you don't have to use straps. Alright. The escape window, I'll show you that. You can open it like that just for ventilation, but it's normally closed like this. So if you have to escape, you'd push this all the way through. Then you grab this red tab here, you pull out the screen, and out you go. You do a triple back flip and land right on your feet. Nice size wardrobe closet. All the lights will have well, they don't all have a switch, but many of them will have a switch. But you also can select them individually just by pushing the button in the middle. Okay? I think I've got it here. I think we've gone over everything. Let me make sure here. I'll walk through and look. We're still cleaning your trailer up, obviously. It'll be all clean by the time you get here. Okay, so yeah, I think I've covered it all. So, because of the virus, we have to do these videos. You'll still have questions about it. You can always call us and talk to us. Also, every appliance in here has its own manual, which will be in here. So everyone has his own manual you can read up on. Plus, you can find information online. Most manufacturers make videos now, so if you want to know about the water heater, you would put in Suburban and the model of the water heater, and you can get the manuals in PDF form, or they even have videos in many cases, most cases. All right. This, I was telling you that this refrigerator screwed shut. I just found the piece I was talking about. That goes in here like this. Let me get the camera on it here. I'm a lousy cameraman. And you just screw it in there like that, and that's going to keep the doors from flying open when you're going down the road and denting your doors and dumping everything out of your refrigerator. So like that. Okay. Alright, so okay, so like I said, give us a call if you've got questions and we'll work through it, and we'll do it whatever we can do for you. So thanks a lot for purchasing from National RV Detroit, and goodbye.